suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Walter's got Nards!
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Jeepers Creepers 3 from 2017. Now this movie was a long time coming. There's 14 years between the second movie and the third movie. That's obviously due to the issues with the director Victor Salva, but enough about him. But the history of this film, it was always going to be called Jeepers Creepers Cathedral. That was always going to be the name of the movie until the movie just got released as Jeepers Creepers 3. But regardless of the name of the film, I was always hoping for a prequel to Jeepers Creepers 1, because at the time when this movie was coming out, or supposed to be coming out, it was still a little bit too early to try and set it in 2024. So I always wanted them to go back to 1978, to that Kenny and Darla storyline. That would have been the best option for me. I think that was the only way forward, to be honest, at this point in time. But then when the film got delayed to the point where I thought, okay, it's almost 2024, maybe they can set it in 2024, but still, I wanted it to be that 1978 storyline, but we didn't get that. Instead, we got it set in 2001 again, and I'm like, why would you do that? You know, the part 2 was set on the last day, of 2001, his feed in 2001. So where are they going to set it? And lo and behold, they decide to set it in between Jeepers Creepers 1 and Jeepers Creepers 2. So Jeepers Creepers 3 is now basically Jeepers Creepers 1.5. The look of this film was actually decent. It didn't look like it had the budget that it had. It looked really good for the budget that they had. But the film looked like it was acted in 2001 by bad actors, and I'm not saying that's a good thing, because I know it's set in 2001 and you want it to look and feel like 2001, but genuinely the cast in it felt like they were stuck in 2001, and that's not great. Yes, you want it to look like it, you want them to have the same clothes, etc., which they did have, but there's something about the acting, it just felt really bad, like a TV movie. And I know it kind of is a TV movie because it was only released in the cinemas for one day, but everything about the acting just felt so outdated. I couldn't get behind anyone in this movie. We've got Meg Foster in the film, Stan Shaw in the movie. These actors are really good actors, but the dialogue they were given, it just took them completely out of it. Meg Foster is supposed to be the mother of Kenny, as in Kenny and Darla from 1978. And we see a little bit of Kenny in this one as well. And it was so bizarre and strange. They just shoehorned him in, shoehorned his mother in, and then she had this kind of psychic ability with the hand from the creeper that anytime anyone holds it, they get this sort of vision. This is the vision that we get in this one. They introduced new things into it that they didn't have to do or shouldn't have done, but they done it anyway, and it just didn't make any sense whatsoever. There was quite a lot of action scenes in it too. And again, the action scenes didn't fit. They just felt so corny. And almost like an amateur filmmaker decided, I'm going to make an action movie with a monster in it. And this is the type of film that we got. You get the slow-mo action shots. It just didn't fit the theme of what was supposed to be a third part in a horror franchise. I think by setting it in between parts 1 and 2, I think Victor Salva thought he was being clever by doing that, and then when we realised that Buddy, one of the main characters in the film, survives at the end of this and gets on the school bus that leads him into part 2, I think they were trying to be clever with a clever twist there. But when I saw that school bus, I was like, oh, brilliant, this is part 1.5 for definite. We already knew that anyway, so I was scratching my head, guys. I was thinking, why set it in between 1 and 2? And then when I saw the school bus turn up at the very end, I thought, okay, that's probably why you've done it, because you wanted to shoehorn that school bus in there as if to show us this is set in between 1 and 2. How cool is that? Well, not really. If we look at the creeper as well, I think the creeper looked a little bit bigger. And this one, obviously, the actor Jonathan Breck was a little bit bigger anyway. But the creeper didn't look right. It looked cheaper than it did in the first two movies. He was in the light too much as well. We saw too much of his face. We saw too much of his actions. And he looked too colourful in this one. And this one is supposed to be set in between 1 and 2. So you have to get the look of the creeper right. And they just didn't get that right at all. And again, it's Victor Salva directing this film, so you think he would know how to direct the creeper in this one. I think too much time passed in the filming from 1 and 2 to part 3 that it's almost like they forgot how to make a Jeepers Creepers movie, and it was very telling. Overall, guys, the creeper wasn't menacing enough for me. The story was terrible, the dialogue was awful, the acting was astoundingly bad. Everything about this movie was bad, and I think what makes it more disappointing was the first 2 movies were good, and you had a good foundation for what could have been a good trilogy, but everything about it was just so bad. We even had that little cameo from Trish at the end, which was also really bad and so outdated looking as well for 2017. But that bit was so bad, and it obviously didn't lead to anything because of what we got after that. So a pointless ending to a pointless movie. So what are your guys' thoughts on Jeepers Creepers 3? I think overall, I think most people didn't like this film, but there are some people who do like it. So whether you like it or not, leave your comments down below, guys. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.